Yes, boy. Well, here we are. I've travelled up to the River Trent on day ticket stretch Collingham. We've been here probably about an hour. I've met Ty, and this is basically my first chuck. And I was just chilling, just taking everything in, stood by the rod, and she's buckled over. And hopefully we can get our first barbel in the net. Ty was actually up behind me, up on the high bank, getting the sun rising and getting a few shots and that up there when the rod smacked over. So apologies if I go a bit quiet. Being the first bite of the day, you never know what's going to happen for the rest of the day. I want to get this in. Oh. We've been trying to get this trip done for a couple of months, to be honest with you. Try to catch up with Ty on the Trent, and with the blazing hot weather and everything else that we had, and lots of sections of the Trent shutting down because of low water and dirty. Oh. Yeah, so as I was saying, we've been trying to get up here, and we kept putting it back a couple of weeks at a time, and river was still low and things didn't seem or feel quite right, and the reports weren't great, especially for daytime bites. And I feel a little bit scared at this point. I'm sorry if you can hear me heavy breathing on the mic, but she's hanging on. Come on. Oh, yes, boy. Oh, that went well, didn't it? Lovely. Let's give her a number. Hang on. Try. Sorry mate, you're gonna have to sort that fish out. I was literally just about to put a weight on that first bite. Just put the fish on the mat to get her in the sling, and I've heard me bait runner going on the one remaining rod. So here we are, and I'm connected to another Trent barbel. Happy days. Everything obviously went out there tickety-boo. First casts, and I can't knock what's happened, so happy. It's just started to drizzle as well, so oh, how's that, boy? Out she goes. There we go. That's the second fish that we've had. Quick succession, we've got a bigger one in the net, ready to weigh, but it's all happened a little bit mad. So as you can see, beautiful Trent barbel. I'm going to slip this one back and sort the bigger girl out. 12.2. Well, I couldn't have had more of a better start if I'd have wished. First bite, I was just getting myself sorted out, the rods were in the water, and just chatting away at a tie, thinking about pouring a cup of tea, which I still ain't had, and the rods bounced over, and we've got Trent Gold, 12 pound 2 ounces. So lo and behold, we was trying to sort this one out, and the remaining rod's gone over. We've had a smaller one, about 7-8 pounds. So I've had a terrific start. Couldn't have gone any better. So I'm going to slip this one back and finally get my cup of tea. Come on. I saw it knock a couple of times, and to be fair, I thought maybe it had a bit of weed or something had picked up on it. And then it sort of felt a little bit slacker, and then it nodded again. Come on. Come at Daz. There we go, fish number 3. Out of the blue, was just having a little bit of a chin wag and talking all things fishy, and a bit of a strange bite. It sort of like bounced. It was like a weed bite. Anyway, I've hovered and then it's bounced again, and lo and behold, here we go. Another little Trent barbel. Right, so I've just wound in. I'm going to have a little bit of a recast, put a fresh bait on, and I've had a couple of 3 fish, but it has gone a little bit quiet on me for the moment, so it's time to have a little bit of a recast then. So on this instance, or on this rod then should I say, I've got a 10mm banded pellet and a size 12 grappler hook. I fished that in conjunction with a PVA bag of 6mm pellets, which are cheesy garlic and some krill, just mixed up in a bucket, 2 different pellets combined, and then I'm plugging them in a feeder with some hemp and halley ground bait, which again have got a few pellets in there as well, 6mm, 8mm, not too many, but just a few to get the fish grubbing about. Let me just get some in there. Say there, some cheesy garlic pellets and some krill pellets in 6mm. Pop them into the feeder. This is one of our combi feeders, and I've taken the caps out, which is dead handy. And then I just basically cram it full of lovely empanelment ground bait, and I push it in there quite hard. I don't want it necessarily to come out straight away and just wash off. I'm quite more than happy if it's sat out there on the riverbed and it's slowly releasing it. Just gives it a little bit more time, I suppose, and you know, if there's 1 or 2 fish in the area, just gives them a bit more time to find it, and sort of slows the feeding process down. So get a PVA bag. There we go. Let's get it out there. we were just set up the top. Ty was having a bit of scoff. Was just sitting there, and the bailiff had turned up. And lo and behold, we've had a proper bite. It banged over, and here we are. So I've interrupted Ty's breakfast stroke brunch, and we're attached to another barbel. Just bringing it up onto the ledge now, and they start to get a bit twitchy. Beautiful. Another one on a 10mm pellet. Yeah, there we go, fish number 4. We've had a bit of a quieter hour. I was in fact just sat up there tying a couple of fresh rigs, and Ty was having a bit of brunch, and the bailiff had just joined us as well, so I had to give him a bit of my hard-earned cash. And while he was here, the rod smacked over, and we've got this lovely fish, £8 10 ounces. You can see like the clouds are still rolling by. We've had a little bit of sunshine and it went quiet for an hour, so but more than happy with that one. Just having another recast. So just very quickly, to be fair, I have actually brought a couple of different rod setups with me. I'm currently using the 3K 1.75 Barbel rods. I've got 2.25s in the car because I have to travel, and you're trying to gauge what the river levels are like. I wasn't sure what I was going to be using, but as it is, they're calling it normal level at the minute. It was low, but they're now calling the Trent normal level. So I've opted to use my 1.75s. I've actually got one of the old Latitude 5000 bait runners on this. The other setup, I have got the new radius reels on the 2.25s. But as you can see, it's more than adequate for what we're fishing in today. And the Trent can be brutal fishing. There's guys that fish it week in, week out. I don't. I come up sort of once or twice a year if I'm lucky, just as a bit of an away day. So, and you never know what it's going to be like until you actually get on the bank or in your peg then, and you find what's out there in the water. So as you can see, I'm winding in a bit of debris, but I'm going to get this one rebaited, get it back out there. Let's get it out there. Feel for the donk. She is. You'll notice that I'm using a tripod. This is the deluxe river tripod, and it makes so much of a difference. Like I've turned up here today, and you probably won't see that from up there, but obviously all this is all shingle and gravel. Sometimes there's rocks and all sorts in and you struggle to get the bank sticks in. So although I do bring bank sticks with me just in case I need them or I can use them, but the pods are so much more stable, so easy to set up, and once they're in, they're absolutely solid. So yeah, deluxe river tripod. There we have it. Let's see if we can get another bite. bastard. Oh, sorry. I reckon that's on and probably tucked up in, maybe tucked up in a bit of weed bed, either that or it's a small fish or something. I'm connected to something. There's definitely one or two sort of weed beds out there, and I had a bit of a bang, so I don't know whether the fish had picked up the bait and then maybe tucked itself up in something. No, it's like Mr. Dunwell's here, isn't it? He loves the bream, does Dunners. Thought it was a bit of a funny bite. It's a little bit tippy tappy, wasn't it? Eat your heart out, Mark Dunwell. Sorry, mate. Lovely. Oh, blimey. Here we go then. She's just sorting the rod out after getting rudely interrupted by a bream. And Ty's shouted at me, "You're in!" And here we are. We're into another, this one's definitely a barbel, this ain't no bream. To be honest, these two bites as well have come probably about 10-15 minutes maximum after me catapulting some freebies just upstream. I've just been putting the odd pelch full of 8 millers upstream, roughly about halfway across, which is where I'm fishing, and just letting them fall down just to get the fish grubbing around. And obviously every now and then they're coming across my feeder and PVA bag of loose feed, and thankfully picking up the wrong hook bait. Sorry if I've gone a bit quiet, but don't feel a bad fish. It's just lunging about out there, and I don't want it to find anything that may be out there and to either get cut off or, I'm not going to say it, hook pull. Yeah. Line 8. Well, there we go. We're knocking on into the afternoon a little bit now. We've had all sorts of weather, from rain, dull, overcast, bright sunshine. In fact, what you can see, I've taken my hoodie off now, and I'm in my t-shirt, and now the clouds are starting to roll over. So as you can see, another Trent barbel. £9.8. We're getting a few, so we've had a great day so far. I'm going to slip this one back now, rest her up and slip her back. You up. So this is me downstream rod. I've just wound in again for a recast, and on this one I'm actually using a slightly bigger bait, although it's an 8mm krill pellet-o, on the hair part, and then on the lower part of the hair I've introduced a band, and I band a 10mm pellet on the top. So it's a slightly larger bait, and I fish that on the downstream rod and just leave it sitting for as long as I think, basically. So again, I've got a trusty grappler hook on there. In this case it's a size 10 because it's a slightly bigger bait. On this rod I've got 12 pound smoke shield mono hook link on a bolt and run kit, and this is one of the new lower profile river cage feeders. As you can see by the, hopefully you can pick it up on the camera there, they are very, very low profile, and I'm putting a few 4mm pellets in there, and again plugging it with either some damp and cheesy garlic pellets, 6mm, just to bulk it into the top. I'll show you in a second, or some of my mixed ground bait. So that's what we're doing on that rod. Right, as well as obviously fishing my feeders, some people are maybe frowned at this, oh, you don't know where it's going, blah, blah. But all I'm trying to do, I'm fishing both my rods roughly down the centre of the river. So all I'm doing, I'm sort of facing upstream, and I'm just putting 2 or 3 peltfuls out every now and then. I'm not too worried about them going onto a tight little spot. I'm trying to get the fish grubbing around, and so far today, it's worked. I've had a few fish, so you know, while it's working, I'll continue to do it. But these are just a few 8mm pellets. To say, I'm trying to fire them just slightly upstream of where I'm fishing. I'm in about, I think, in about 8 or 9 foot of water, so I'm trying to roughly gauge the drop, but they're spread out. Let's just say they're spread. So just the fish grubbing about. Just give them 2 or 3 peltfuls every now and then. So it's not worked against me, put it that way. Whoa. Feels a bit of a plodder. I ain't gonna say anything, but downstream rod again on the double pellet. 10 and an 8. Fished about halfway across. It's a nice depth of water out there. I'm guessing sort of, I don't know, 8, 9, maybe 10 foot. It takes a while to count down. I always get a little bit twitchy when I'm coming out to do a feature, because we all know what it's like when you just go out on a normal day's pleasure fishing, you know, and it's nice to catch a fish, but I always get a little bit twitchy because you can never tell what the day's going to bring, or whether you drop on a few fish. But today we have had an absolute cracking day. Come on. In she goes. There we go then. Another one on the same tactics. Downstream rod again. On the pellet. 10mm pellet. Grubbing around. So I've had a wicked day so far, and yeah, over the moon. Whoa! Whoa! I was literally just packing down some tackle, and just having a bit of a tidy up, and she's bounced into life. Little scamp. Right, I've had a cracking day. We're going to end it. Some clouds rolling over now, but I've had a fantastic day. This little scamp's going to be my last fish, number 9. Superb day up at Collingham on the pellet and the feeders. Hope you've enjoyed what you see. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all appreciated, and I'll see you again next time.